a great guest on this week. Who's a good friend of ours. He works with us for certain gigs, especially the loud ones. And I never normally introduce the guest, but I'm quite pleased to introduce. He's a good mate. I won't tell you what team he supports. We'll maybe talk about that later on. But I'm going to introduce a good legend in the DJ world of Liverpool, Dave Ricco. Dave Ricco, let's bring him in. How are you, mate?
Hi guys, how are we? You all right? Thanks for the intro, man.
Yeah, I just done it off the cuff. I was going to say more, but you know, legends don't need that much of an intro.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
I love the beach story as well, by the way.
You
love the beach story.
Oh,
well,
mate, it was mad. He just came in, this little old fella, and he just grabbed it with his hand and he just stuck it in a bag. I was just like, this is just crazy. But this is lockdown life. So what have you been doing in lockdown, mate?
Lots, to be honest with you. A couple of weeks off, to be honest with you. But just enjoying my music again, to be quite honest with you. Although not gigging, just do lots of live streaming, which has been totally new but enjoyable. And yeah, just finding out, just digging out old tunes on vinyl and all sorts. So yeah, enjoying all that side of it, mate. To be honest with you.
I think the online stuff's quite enlightening. It is for me, because I do a few guitar lessons online and stuff, and I've never done that kind of stuff before. And it's kind of, you've got to do it, get something coming in as a self-employed musician. So the online stuff I think is working really well. I've watched a couple of the online gigs, and how have you found it?
It's strange because you're just in a room on your own. Ordinarily, you're out, and all of a sudden you find yourself, it's just you, either in the garden or in the spare room, studio, whatever you want to call it. But not over the weeks, you just get, it just then comes natural again. Having a few beers at the time when you're doing it also helps, to be quite honest with you. But no, it's, I'm enjoying it, to be honest with you. I'm due another one to do this weekend on Saturday for an online guys online called House You Promotions. So that'll be on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to doing that on Saturday, to be honest with you.
And have you found that you've got like a new audience since you've been doing online?
Massively. I've had the opportunity to put a SoundCloud page together and put mixes up on SoundCloud, and then obviously once the live streams go out, I've done a street festival in our street over the bank holiday weekend just gone, and I was getting hits, people viewing and from Glasgow and North Wales, Anglesey, the Midlands, and you're just like, wow, so obviously the exposure's there, and all these different people are then finding you. So take the positives out of it, and it's been educational. Don't get me wrong, it's been very educational. Finding out, sorting out all the techie side of stuff or whatever, and finding out how to get the right sounds together. But yeah, it's been good. I hope it continues as well, to be honest with you. This ain't going away for a long time. I'd like to think that the DJs who are doing the live streams keep them up, because I sit here, there'll be nights I've hardly watched any TV. I'll sit and watch my peers or other lads and girls that I know, and watch their streams and be enlightened and be educated by the way they play, the tunes they play. It's been, I've loved it, quite honestly, Chris.
It is an art. I'm not going to. DJing is an art. It's real technical stuff, and we see it when we go out gigging with you. We see how sort of you just zone into that.
Cool,
that zone, and things could be happening around you, and you just focused purely on what you're doing. It's good to watch, to be fair. I quite like it.
It's sort of become that way. I'm sort of like that in whatever environment you're in, whether it be a club environment, festival environment. It's one of them where you do, as you said, I find myself, you just get into that zone. But that's the different energy of a crowd. All of a sudden I'm feeding off the energy of a live feed, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because you can see the numbers pinging up or whatever. But listen, what I will say is that it doesn't matter if it's like 7 or 8 people watching you, or 500 or 1,000. Even if it's just one, you know what I mean? I'll still give the same everything into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've got to, and same with us when we play. Sam and I play with gigs with you. We could have normally the big crowds, aren't they? But you always get a crowd that's a little bit smaller, and you just give the same energy because that's what it's that's what it's all about. But the DJing side of things, I think, is just fantastic. It's something I want to get into, if I'm honest with you.
But I'm the other way round, you know. I'd love to play guitar. Although I've got the decks at the side of me here, and people look at them and go, well, how do you... I see the likes of you, say like, if we play a gig together or whatever, and you're on the guitar or whatever, and I'm like, I'd love to do that. It's probably in there somewhere, but it's because I'll do it. I play air drums, air guitar, and everything while I'm dancing down. But
I think that's where it's all. As I say, how did you get into DJing?
How did I get into DJing? I've been doing this since I was a kid. I was putting mixtapes together for the youth club when I was 10.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought I was a bit of a geek when I was 10 and 11. Instead of getting like, I don't know, game consoles, an Atari or a computer or whatever when they first come out, I got tape decks, got 3 separate tape decks, and we'd sit there recording the top 40 and then splice the tapes all up and record mixes on tape decks.
Wow.
And take the tape deck into the youth club, and that was the soundtrack for our night in the youth club then.
Did you actually splice? Yeah. No, yeah.
Not splice, but put various tracks together on different tapes and build up the mix on the different tapes. So I'd be mixing one tape deck into another tape deck and recording on the third tape.
It was a big sort of revolutionised thing in the 60s to use tapes and to cut them, splice them, and move things around. A lot of the sort of later Beatles stuff did that kind of approach.
But that's how it started, and just from doing that in the youth clubs. There was one on Kensington Fields Youth Club on Kenny, and the Central down on Kenny as well, and that's all I do. So it was a form of DJing, but it was taking the tapes into the... And then that just progressed then for going to my first gigs when I was 15 and 16, going the road to the university, and then walking into the state when I was 16 years of age. And then that moment, bang, I'll even say Andy Carroll was DJing and the Smiths House Sooners I was on. And I just walked in there and was like, oh my God. And from that moment on, I don't think I missed Saturday night in there in the best part of 18 months.
Yeah.
And become friends with Andy and Mike Nola, and these guys had sought me out tapes and music and give me pointers or whatever. Yeah. And then from then on, I had my first residency then when I was 17, a place called the Old Bank on Scotland Road, and the rest is as they say. And then I played there and everywhere. I had a bit of a lull, bit of a break, so I fell out of love with it. Maybe about 15 years ago, but then come back all guns blazing 10 years, and then the last 5 or 6 years have just been living the dream. Because I think I enjoy what I do.
The break, I think sometimes we've all had little breaks from music here and there, but it kind of makes you rethink about how you do it, and then you get your look back for it. Then I think sometimes that, and you can see why these big artists have big breaks between albums, and then it is draining, like.
Mm-hmm. But then if also you've got a full-time job to hold down as well, and a young family to pay. So I think all that took its toll a little bit. But now the passion's still burning bright now, and I can't see it going away anytime soon, to be honest with you.
What's your favourite gig you've ever played?
Whoa! Wow!
And it was up all night, probably.
The last gig. The last gig was immense. For the face events, that was the last show that I think any of us have played, to be honest with you. It'll go down in history as it was to a crowd. My first Creamfields show, I think, was also amazing, but I prefer the second one. I couldn't pinpoint a favourite gig or a favourite show because you'll know this yourself. Sometimes you go with not the best expectations of a gig or a show, and it blows you away. You just sort of did the crowd and everything, and it becomes from just being the norm to being something special. And listen, there's been weddings. There's been weddings have turned into a friend's wedding. I played a friend's wedding in Ibiza last year, and I put that down as one of my favourites. But there's closing since Sundays, 2 years on the spin, and these experiences. So I couldn't pinpoint a favourite, if that makes sense.
Do you have like a well, like we have different genres and stuff like that. Is there different genres of DJing? If people don't really understand it, is there like a house side?
No, well, there are genres. I don't like to sort of pigeonhole the word. If it's a good tune, it's a good tune. I'm quite as easy playing like the Steve Festival last week. I'm quite as easy playing a load of Tamala Motown and soul and disco, and Beatles and Stones, and mix all that up and go into 70s, 80s. It's like the age. I mean, I'm not going to give you my age away, but it's the knowledge. You have a knowledge, don't you? And it's knowing that you can play this or play that. Yeah, there's genres, but I really wouldn't want to I've never pigeonholed myself as a house DJ or as a tech DJ or a party DJ. You're a DJ.
We find sometimes as soon as you play the first track or something in the band, you know who's in the audience, and we kind of we have a set list. Obviously, you probably have a set load that because you got so many tracks, you know instantly what you can throw on. We kind of to get round this, we mix the set list up live. So we say, right, do that. And I suppose that's what you must do. Just you see the crowd, you think, right, that's going to be a banger.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I never really go into a gig with a predetermined set. Don't get me wrong. I'll do preparation and homework, and I've say a file with maybe 50, 60, 70 tunes on it. But you might only end up playing 20 of those. I never go in and have a set order of 1 to 12 or 1 to 15 or 1 to 20, and that's what I'm playing. I've never done that, to be honest with you. Because you don't know what's in front of you, you don't know the crowd, you don't know what reaction you're going to get. And sometimes it's your job. It's your job to then make that decision to go, that ain't working, bang, put that on. And there's no better feeling than when you do that, and then you see a reaction, and then you know either you've got it back or you've got it. Well, then it's down to you to keep that momentum going and keep that going and keep playing. So, but then I've seen you guys do that. You know what I mean? I've seen you. We've played some gigs. The gig for Terry's 40th, was it?
Oh, that was
last unreal gig.
Wow. It was unreal. But the same again. If we bounce off one another. I think that's why we're so good or compatible with one another.
Yeah.
As the band and as me. Yeah, I'll play stuff knowing full well it's going to be a great intro for you guys. And then you will smash the living daylights out. But then when there's that little bit of a break or a bit of an intro in between, then don't go overboard, because you guys then got to come back on and smash the living daylights out of it again.
Yeah, we're always passing the set list. Ricco, don't play any of this.
But you know I'm not going to anyway, don't you? I think the first time I asked you for the set list the first time we played together, and I think I went, give us your set list so I don't play. Dolly Parton, 9 to 5.
That was Sam's choice. Sam, I told you we could swap 9 to 5. No, but I'll let you into a little secret as well. I don't know if you know this, Rick. Sam's actually watched me mix the ultimate mix, haven't you, Sam?
I have, and to say I was impressed.
Amazing.
I mean,
ultimate mix.
We were working with one of our other. With Steve, weren't we? We were working with Steve and filming his show reel, and in the Lowry we were.
So it was booming in the Lowry.
Unbelievably, Chris jumps on the decks, and Steve goes, "Do you want to have a go?" Yeah. So he gets up and he starts mixing. I want to mix this one, and this one, and Steve looks over and goes, Yeah, that's going to be absolutely impossible. There's no chance that these are going to mix. But to be fair, you got a good tune out of it, which was fair.
So I mixed. This is get your DJ impression of this. I mixed Africa Toto right into Beastie Boys.
I might give that a go and surprise you then. Actually,
do you know what?
You've set me a challenge. Fight for Your Right, was it Beastie Boys?
It was Fight for Your Right to Party. So I went from Toto into Fight for Your Right.
Text me that after this.
I'll
Text
send
me that,
you.
and
You know what we'll
do my best.
We'll put the video. Maybe there's a video knocking around of it, Sam.
I'll have to find it.
And I've got it, I think, somewhere. It's just unbelievable. I slow the Beastie Boys right down. I can't remember how slow. It was slow. And then it just fires. It was brilliant. I was impressed. The DJ who was standing next to us at the time wasn't slightly impressed. Steve was.
I think he was more worried about that you were going to do damage to his gear, to be fair. Just the way you were probably giving it beans, you know what I mean? But it's
hey, if you're gonna do it, go for it. That's the
you've got to go for it.
But I thought it was a good mix. But it's really hard to do. Do you know what? If you could study it, and you can see why these kids, they're doing courses now for kids learn to do
yeah,
which is great. I think it's a great thing.
There's O-level courses or the GCSE courses now.
Yeah.
Even in my eldest lads in Jacobs, I'm part of getting set up DJ classes in there. And a good friend of mine, Mark Armstrong, ran a DJ after school club. It's now on the curriculum, music production and DJing, and so you can actually do that as part of like your GCSE O level sort of.
Isn't that fun? I'd love that.
And you want to see the studio in the school, amazing. They've got decks, they've got every instrument under the sun, Max, the studio, the lot. So the opportunities for the kids nowadays. Whereas with me, I had to save up and go and get an out pair of double drive desk. And I'd love to know where that was or is now, but eventually saved up for a pair of Technic. And the tech still works now from like 25 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I think
it'd longer than 30. Because Everton last won the cup 25 years ago.
Oh, well, you had to throw that in, didn't you? We had to throw that in. But people.
So not Technics are 30 years old and still working now. So, but no, the kids, the opportunities they've got, and the technology that's available to them, the social media outlets, and even more so, growing up as like teenager in town, we only had like 2 and 3 clubs and 1 bar or 2 bars. And hopefully, when all this is done and dusted, and we can all get back to that, town will get back. Town was booming. Liverpool's been booming for like 5, 6, 7 years now. Fingers crossed it can get back to that. But the diversity of gigs, the diversity of musicians, the diversity of venues, let's just hope that it can still get back to where it was.
Do you personally think it will get back to where it once was? Do you think?
I'd like to hope so. I think it will. It may take some time. I was saying to Chris earlier on, gigs wise, I enjoy going to live music gigs. Today, I've been informed. I had tickets for New Order in London in October. Now that's being pulled till November of 2021. And get back to where we were. I'll give that year up, to be quite honest with you. What I don't want to happen is we go too early and think it's all sound, and then we go back to square one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've missed seeing Elbow. I'll miss going to Creamfields to play and to enjoy. So, look, as well, all these amazing events, amazing things that have gone by the wayside, all the festivals and Blue Dot. It's such a shame, and people's livelihoods and people livings there, from the sound techs, the engineers, to everybody else. So hopefully it will get back to some semblance of where it was. I just feel early part of next year.
I mean, we've always said, haven't we, on this podcast, Chris, that people after lockdown will want to go out and have a real good time. And I think you can't name, for me personally, a better city not to have a good time than Liverpool. I mean, like you said it yourself, Ricco, the diversity of, you can, just thinking, you can walk down, just trying to think, Seal Street, you can walk down Hardman Street and probably go into a different bar and find a different type of music, especially on the likes of the Hope Street Theatre and the Arts Club there. They're doing some fantastic work as well. It's a big change for everyone. This lockdown's affected everyone. But do us a favour, this is a podcast and we've got to plug something, so we're going to plug ourselves this week. Please like and share this podcast firstly, but secondly, what I want you to do is like our Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. On Facebook we're at C Live, pretty self-explanatory because you're watching the Facebook Live right now, but give us a like if you're not following us. On Twitter we are C Live Enter to 1, give us a tweet, and also on Instagram where we post our artists and all up-to-date stuff in regards to upcoming gigs the likes of our artists are doing and will be doing. Please make sure that you follow us on Instagram, which is CLive UK. So yeah, 25 years then since Everton last won a trophy.
Yeah, it was only 4. It took a while. Boys.
That wasn't the stream. I had to process that information.
These two lines up reds, sort of been getting all day, to be honest with you.
No, we're teasing.
No,
We're teasing.
I think it's important that it should be, because I think Everton are on the up. And you know what? With the new stadium that's potentially going to be involved in the hotels and the bars, it's going to be more work for all us musicians.
Hope so.
Because
and hopefully more trophies for us at some time, to be honest with you. So
look at Sam.
I mean,
we're going to terminate this podcast right now.
If it's not with Liverpool, then we're all right.
Just play some tunes.
Yeah, I hope it does, because it's one city, isn't it? And we know how much the culture of this city. And if we can get 2 teams that are doing well, we can bring in the hospitality side of things, which is massive for us as musicians, performers. The hospitality side is just, it's so important. And I think, as you said before, a lot of people will not be working now for a long time. And that's what this city relies on. It relies on the live music. It has done for how many years? Do you know? Did you ever? What was the old clubs that you used to play a while? I remember going. I didn't really go many times because it wasn't my kind of thing. But
there was one in particular. It was the Zanzibar. It was the Circle Club. I played the Underground once or twice as well when the Underground first kicked off. The Circle Club. Emotions was another one. Nobody will know any of these, to be honest with you. and the old bank as well was another one. But then you look now to where sort of like the venues that there are now, the amazing venues we've got now, by the way, the likes of the Constellation, and Camp and Furnace, District. Kitchen Street, amazing, and you'd like to think that by the end of this, we can all get back to those places pretty soon.
We put you in Grand Central, didn't we?
Oh, what a venue! What an absolute pleasure to play there. I remember going in there putting a night on in the Barcelona bar in 1999, and the owner at the time taking me on a tour of the building and took me in the lads who was doing the night with. And he opened the doors and walked in. It'd been pretty derelict for a while. And I just looked around. I was like, "Oh my God, this place is absolutely stunning." And then played there first time at Christmas. Yeah. And I was just like, it blew me away. I'd love to get in there and do something again in there. But that's another hidden gem. That place.
It is, isn't it?
Venue. unbelievable venue.
We were supposed to do Grand National night in there. That would have been phenomenal.
I'll tell you what was happening, and it just reminds me, they were going to do a not Glastonbury. The owners were doing a not Glastonbury. So if you didn't go to Glastonbury, they were having a whole weekend of Glastonbury tribute acts playing over the 3 days at Grand Central. What a loss that is. So let's hope that we can get back to doing that as well.
I think it will. I think it's important. I think, and I think as artists we will. We always do. We always come back and play boss gigs. And that's it. Do you have? Here's a good question though. You know, you're talking about the GCSE stuff and stuff like that. Are your lads into the DJing?
They love it. I'm very proud of me doing it. But I've got my eldest is in the choir. He's in SFX school choir. And my youngest is learning to play the drums. So there's the musical interest in there. So and they do. Well, listen, they've got no choice really, have they? Because there's just music in the house constantly. Yeah. So don't know. They've got a musical here. We've been taking them to a few gigs over the years as well. So yeah, there's definitely musical influence. Whether or not they grab the DJ reins, I doubt very much. I wouldn't push them in that direction. But listen, school choir and playing the drums, very proud of them for doing what they're doing at the moment, you know.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. It's all about, isn't it? If you can, I think music is an important part of school. I'm going to try and influence Theo, my lad, as much as I can in musical.
But your influence is there, Chris, just by playing it every day and look at the gear behind you, the Marshalls and the keyboards and the mixes. Kids are inquisitive. They want to know. They want to see what's going on.
Oh, he's too busy singing Darth Vader's theme tune at the moment. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, that's musical.
But it's great. He loves Pavarotti.
John Williams.
Pavarotti, Darth Vader's theme tune, and he can sing Blackbird at 2.5. So I'm quite proud of that.
That's quite impressive, mate. Quite impressive.
Yeah. But yeah, but I think the most important thing with everyone is we all keep going and embrace the online stuff. I think the online stuff's been fab, especially for you. You've got new followers, you've got new sort of ways of doing things, and it's probably things you've never even imagined thought you'd be doing.
Not at all. But I say it's still a learning curve, all been a learning curve. As I said, I'd never put a SoundCloud page where people have been badgering and pestering, get a SoundCloud, Ricco, get a SoundCloud. But it was always finding that time, finding that the balance of family life and gig and all that type of stuff. But I had 4 or 5 weeks off, so guess what? I've applied it well, I've enjoyed it. And the SoundCloud is slowly but surely filling up with mixes. And I tell you another thing, of getting introduced and becoming good friends with other fellow DJs through social media and through online stuff that ordinarily I would never have met before. Sending me new tracks, sending me remixes, vice versa, me sending them stuff to maybe do some remixes with as well. So with that community, I think it's brought the DJ community a lot closer together, because honestly, some of the talent that's out there is amazing, and right across the age groups, just lads and girls with a passion who ordinarily might not have had the opportunity to play the bars and the clubs in town. But guess what? This has given them the opportunity to get themselves out there and get themselves noticed. Platforms there. So I've enjoyed that side of it as well, to be honest with you. I made some really good acquaintances and some really good friends to it as well.